evening, my name's Alex Campbell.
My name's Dolly Parton.
And you're watching Examining the Expanse. So we open with everyone basically trying to figure out what this new altered version of Naomi's message means. We had the initial broadcast and then Naomi cut it all up and edited it, and then we get Bobby and Alex and Holden and Monica and Bull receiving this message and being like, what the fuck does this mean?
Well, rightly so.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
Well, it means something, but they don't know what the fuck
Well,
it
that's
means.
what I meant. It doesn't fucking mean.
Yeah.
Well, I actually wondered. I don't know if it makes sense, right? But wouldn't she, assuming some form of Morse code still exists, right? Wouldn't it have made more sense to like allow the audio to go with in a Morse code pattern?
Yeah, if it was like a constant sound.
Yeah, right.
Unless it was a gap where she wasn't speaking. You know, she's
But
I'm Naomi Nagata of the...
She was timing it in her mind anyway, right?
Yeah.
So the gap would still work as long as the audio was consistent in its bleeps, essentially, right?
Yeah, maybe. Something more sporadic or...
I would think that would make more sense rather than trying to make a message out of the words that already exist.
Yeah.
But whatever, right? She was pretty messed up by the time she got to that point. That's her idea. This is her idea, and she's gonna do it. Right?
Yeah, she did something, and it is fair to say she was pretty wrecked, and is still pretty fucking wrecked. Scraping fucking like ice particles off the pipe to like get a little bit of fucking water.
So great,
all sunburned and swollen up. Yeah,
I love it. The whole thing's fucking great.
Yeah, I said in my fucking last review, I'm like, it's not fucking white cis males hating strong female characters. It's like, you don't write strong female characters.
Nobody's writing
it's like, here we go. It's somebody struggling.
And
it's
here
someone
comes
going through
Naomi
hardship.
Nagata, right?
They build sympathy for her. They build fucking emotional attachment.
We're all like fucking on the edge of our seats watching this thing play out.
This poor fucking woman get dragged through the fucking mud.
And then like conversely, drama and how it's affecting and the situation and how it's affecting her, right?
Well, her situation is just rock and hard place.
She's getting fucking. She is gonna kill somebody.
Well, yeah. She has a little emotional breakdown in this episode. Like, how much shit do you have to fucking make me eat? You killed Ashman.
I was waiting for her to like press the fucking button to eject her into space.
Well, that lady took a gun and shit. And it's like, she's not going to sit by and continue to deal with this situation.
Her mind is breaking.
Yeah,
right?
and she's a person of action. She's not a fucking...
She's an assertive person.
And the lady gives her the options like, who do you love more, Naomi or your family now? Like, are you going to endanger your family now to save Naomi? And she's just going to get to the point where she's like, I'm not Marco's lackey. I'm not going to do Marco's bidding.
It's a principles and conviction scenario, and it's kind of a cliche, but it's like, what sort of question, that's not really a question to ask somebody who obviously has convictions, right?
You can't in good conscience go along with that regime.
Yeah, right.
It's fucking murderous.
Like that
psychopathic.
Her second in command, that's her second in command, right?
Yeah.
Going along with it's obviously watching what's happening. Right?
Yeah.
And not even if she agrees with what Marco's doing, surely she can't. Like the other woman's come on. We've got like a whole cast of like really, really strong female characters. And it's great, right? Like,
you don't even notice.
No, it's indistinguishable.
Like
they're just characters, right?
Yeah.
So you've got your other, I can't remember what her name is, from Marco's entourage.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but lady with the blue lipstick.
Yeah, and she's coming on and she's basically, I feel like it's a trope that I've seen before. Maybe Star Trek, where like an outside from from the command structure or another ship comes on and there's basically
authority.
Well, they don't technically have authority. They kind of do it. They've got authority as long as the people that they're trying to control agree, basically go along with it.
Yeah.
Right, so they're like writing a really fine line. So this person's really, really, really writing a thin line. I'm gonna wait for drama to basically just put a bullet in her head.
Yeah, well, Marco's like orders were to go and destroy the Rocinani. So we have the Rocinante heading to this fucking bomb. We have Alex and Bobby heading to this fucking bomb. We've got Drummer's fleet of 3 ships heading to this bomb.
Yeah.
And Marco's going to come in, so there's just going to be a big firefight, presumably.
And you know, it's to Marco. I think he's exposed himself to an overt amount of risk by trying to fuck with Drummer like this, right?
Yeah.
Like I get that. That's another trope as well, right? Taking the least. The person who least agrees with them to go against their convictions, deliberately go against their convictions, and putting that and relying on them to go and do that.
Someone who's known for their temper and breaking.
You know, he is exposing himself to an unbelievable amount of risk.
Yeah.
Why can't he just send somebody else to go and do it?
Yeah. Well, I think the idea is, you know, when they exchanged ship numbers, it's like, I'll space your friend if you don't do my thing. But it's going to get to the point where Drummer's like,
fuck that.
Space him.
Fuck that. Fuck you. Right? Fuck everybody.
I'll destroy everything and kill everyone. I don't give a fuck anymore, but I'm not doing this.
Yeah. And it's like, there's plenty of other OPA that would say the same thing, right? Like because of what Holden has done for the belt, essentially.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's, that seems like a bad play, like a really, and I think that's just his arrogance, that's his power hungriness, right? Because again, I feel like it's a trope. I feel like I've seen it before. Overextending his hand, trying to crush the throat of somebody, and putting them in an impossible, what they would perceive as an impossible situation, and forcing them to choose.
She has no other options.
She's
not gonna fucking.
She's got 2 options, right?
Yeah.
She either and they both as essentially the same thing. Go against her convictions, right?
So we'll see how that plays out, but I'm sure it'll be violent.
I mean, they might just kill Drummer. That would be awful. That would be really bad. But I'm waiting for that to happen, right? I'm waiting for the second in command to space Drummer or whatever.
Yeah, something big to happen. Because Drummer's not really a character in the books either, so she could just die in the show randomly, like Ashford. Goodbye.
I hope not.
Game over.
Ashford was the best character.
And now he's dead.
And now he's gone.
Mako killed Clay's Ashford, and I sat on my hands and played nice with him so you would be safe. He killed a woman I loved, and now he wants me and mine to murder her friends. And I go along again. How much shit do I have to eat before you treat me with some respect?
Then on the other side, on Earth, we get the old Amos, Peaches, and Eric narrative. They've found a shuttle, they've made it. I like the landscape this is all in, because it's so different.
It's all different, I thought that too.
The hard sci-fi, the really cool fucking set design and the ships and everything.
Well, it's interesting because we've complained about sci-fi fantasy shows sort of coming back down to Earth figuratively and literally. Right? And how that sort of drags everything to a stop. But having this interpersonal character drama sparsely in this environment, it's a sparse use of the environment, is really interesting, right? It's a good set piece.
Yeah, well, we've barely seen Earth, really, and when we have, it's not the Earth that we know. It's the Doctor Who thing, where you tune in to watch this crazy sci-fi show with this madman in a box who can go anywhere and do anything, and then he's modern day London. And then next week he's on modern day London. Then next week he's on modern day London.
The series finale for season 5 of the new sagas or whatever, and it's the Daleks coming in, and they've got a void sphere or I don't know if you remember that. They've got a void.
Try to block it out.
And it's like the way that they escaped or whatever. The destruction of the Daleks was a sphere that doesn't exist in time or space. It exists outside of time or space, whatever, and it's appears in a warehouse in modern day London, and that's the climax of the season.
It's the Daleks and it's modern day London. Just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
It's man, I don't care. I'm so.
You have the best vehicle to make fucking outlandish, crazy, wild, wacky sci-fi stories, and you're just not inventive anymore. You run out of ideas with a premise that gives you unlimited ideas. You go in the box, and you go to a new fucking world. London.
Teleport from this part of London to this part of London.
You're killing me.
This episode's about the coronavirus.
So yeah, they get there, they find the shuttle. Of course the shuttle isn't working, which seems like a really realistic narrative beat to happen. Of course in that moment there'll be like some mechanical electrical fault.
You actually don't see that often, honestly, in the Expanse thing, right? Like you don't see it that often that things aren't working. Generally things mostly work for the most part most of the time.
It's good too that they've set up that Amos and Peaches are like mechanics and electricians and they have all these skills.
Well, it's like it's kind of a requirement, right? Like
you can't be, if you're a crew member of one of these shuttles, like this box in this void of death, you need to have these fucking skills.
Yeah, you need to have a bunch of people and they all need to kind of share a common set of common skills.
Yeah.
But then Amos doesn't know anything about software, and that played out 1 or 2 seasons ago, I think.
Yeah.
Where they were trying to determine the sabotage.
Yeah. Well, Naomi was that lady. And Alex was like, do you think it's on one of these? What is this? I don't fucking know. I run the fucking Epstein drive. So that's great. It's just like, get your apprenticeship kids that'll pay off in the apocalypse.
Yeah. Well, I really love the interplay between Eric, Amos, and Peaches.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. They could, obviously, and it's always like this with the Expanse. They could have easily stuffed it with having Eric be basically belligerent and not see reason when they go and approach him in Baltimore.
Have a really blatant and cheap character.
No, I'm fucking the head of Baltimore. No, I told you to fuck off. And it's like, well, no. And
he has those elements, but they're toned down. And he sees reason.
Yeah, he knows. He knows what's happening.
This is fucked.
And then
I love when all those fucking townspeople come together on the ship, and fucking Amos and Eric are immediately seasoned criminals, fuck off.
Fuck off or die.
The fuck out. Clarissa's on this non-mass murdering, reformed rhetoric, and she's like, no.
She's the bleeding heart, because Amos has the hots for her, so he's the bleeding heart by extension.
Yeah.
And so therefore Eric's has to go along.
Well, Amos is also just fucking got into this guy's house and murdered him and wrecked him and took his shit, and he's like, I need a moral compass.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to hold it in Naomi.
I need to get back to my crew. And that's exactly it.
He hears her be sympathetic to these people, and he's like,
he latches onto it. I don't know. I know what decision I would make. Right, Amos. He knows what decision he would make, but he knows that that's not necessarily the right decision. Yeah. And so he latches onto, as you say, the moral compass. Right?
Yeah. Who at this point is Clarissa, which is kind of terrifying because she killed 8 people in this episode.
She tears people apart with her bare hands.
Went on a mass murdering fucking spree for fucking years.
Jumping from ship to ship, killing all these people.
Up for this revenge vendetta. Oh, that's great.
Well, so I tell you what. That scene, that whole sequence where they're escaping after the guy, and they let the guys go on. Kind of annoyed me a little bit. The security guys, because I love the I like that shakedown scene. It's they don't know they've come and they're going to shake down these civilians.
This fucking crime lord and this seasoned fucking brute. We want your food. And I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off.
You fucking rent a corpse.
Leave or die.
Yeah. And then she breaks it up, and at that point you're kind of
they're going to be back, but they acknowledge that they're going to be back. So I don't know if that makes it okay or not. Because that's really cliche, right? Of course they're going to be back.
Clarissa's fucking peace and love mentality does lead to all this fucking violence,
all these
and
people
death
being
transpiring.
So I mean, she needs to be held to account for that.
Yeah, well, this is, in a way, that's fine, but they're living in a different world now, as Amos said, everything's changed. People are only humans when there's humanity. Once humanity's gone, we're fucking animals.
And I think I'll be a bit annoyed because I don't think she is going to be forced to come to grips with what she essentially caused.
Yeah, it's funny too, because she has this peace and love mentality, and then she just rips apart
all the people that if they just killed all 4 of them, right, originally, that never would have happened. Or if
she didn't start running her mouth about the fact that they have a shuttle and they're leaving, and security guards may not have come, and they may have still seen the helicopter. But
so normally you would expect her to have to come to grips with that.
That'll just be like, nah.
No, yeah, they're in space now, they don't have to deal with it. Right?
That's done.
You know, so I mean, she saved a bunch of people, right? A bunch of innocent people.
Old, elderly, Scully man.
But like even that, the one of Eric's bloody goons talking to Amos about, you know, her life in Baltimore and stuff as well. She's dead now, and that's Clarissa's fault. Right?
Yeah.
So, we're not going to see that. But so that sequence, that whole sequence, I haven't been on the edge of my seat watching something for so long.
Yeah, well, it slowly builds. Like as soon as they get there, it's tense in the atmosphere, and then. Yeah, you got the people coming, then you got the guards coming, and it's slowly.
It's starting to escalate, and you kind of see what's happening.
Yeah,
right?
and they're like, oh, we're leaving in 15 minutes. And like, oh,
okay, here we go. Here comes the sequence.
And then it just like explodes and keeps on going.
And I was like, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen, and I was fucking. It was tense as fuck.
Yeah, there's this big fucking long shot that just keeps on going and going too. And they talked about in that After the Expanse little podcast thing about just trying to get everything choreographed so everything happens at the right moment. You got like squibs going off, you got blanks, you got explosions, you need all the actors in the right place at the right time. And yeah, it's just so well executed and looks fucking great. Yeah, and you got these fucking characters you're emotionally invested in. I like the way they didn't show Clarissa tearing those people apart too, because that doesn't always work on camera.
No, yeah.
In the book, you're like, basically, because you're in her head, she moves really fast.
Yeah, but that wouldn't look right.
No, it looks silly. Like in the last episode where they did it like, it was kind of like.
Yeah, it would be like in the Phantom Menace where they show. The one time them doing
force speed. Yeah, it works in a book, but on camera it can look a bit silly.
Yeah. Where it's left to our imagination that she becomes essentially like a fucking like a Wendigo and starts tearing people apart.
Yeah,
right?
you don't need to see it.
No, we get it. You know, kind of, sort of. And you're right. I actually didn't think about that, and that's credit to the show. Right?
Yeah,
not actually thinking about. Oh well, you know. How is she doing that? I mean, maybe that might have come to my mind once or twice, but I didn't think it didn't occur to me while that happened. You know, you just accept that that's how it's portrayed.
Yeah. Yeah, and then after all that, ramping up of tension, the fucking main climax of that sequence is old Eric punching the Epstein drive before they break all of it and just burning everyone.
Fuck this!
Blowing the house apart, which is fucking great.
Well, but I thought, like, no matter what you do, it's going to have that sort of explosive effect, right? So how did they launch it? I mean, is it a one-time thing?
I think what he did was, punch a drive, which he should have punched later on when they were up higher. So you'll get like... You know,
the implication was that they were waiting for the doors to open before pressing that button, right? So therefore,
well, I don't think it's designed to just fucking blow the house apart.
I mean, it might be, right? So it might be a matter of like it's a fail-safe thing, right?
Yeah.
You either need it or you don't, and if you need it, you don't care what happens. Right?
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Either way, it was good to see people just get burned to death by fucking boosters. And then we get that nice shot of Amos looking out the window at Earth for the last time. In the book they're described as like a death shroud because there's just like this cloud of fucking...
I was expecting to see like giant craters where the things had been all the dust and shit that gets kicked up into the atmosphere. The implication to me about the snowy area that they were in was that it was snowy because they were in a nuclear winter scenario. That's what I thought.
Well, there's a scene early on in like episode 4 or something when Clarissa's talking about the moon, and the name is like, that's not the moon, that's the sun, and it's like dim as fuck and obscured by clouds, and all the vegetation's gonna die, temperature's gonna drop, people are gonna run out of food.
If you get hit by like 2 major meteors.
3 I think.
Was it 3?
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Maybe. Anyway, it's like you're in nuclear winter scenario.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that for fucking decades.
Decades.
And by that time, all the agriculture's
all died.
People are fucking
major famine.
Ripped each other's throats out. So he's looking down at his fucking home world, the cradle of life of humanity, and he's like, goodbye.
Goodbye. Fucking thank God for that.
Last time ever. And then we get Avasarala. Yeah, they bomb. What station did they bomb?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was just an a trading station, like a port in the belt.
Yeah.
Right?
This new fucking acting secretary
Series station.
I think maybe that was the one they were planning to do next, the big one. But yeah, they're just like, well, let's just start destroying the belt now.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a bit jarring because I don't know. I thought that the guy. I mean, I guess he was inexperienced and being like whipped up in the frenzy of it, right? But I thought he was a bit more humble than that.
Yeah, well, last episode he had like that inspiring speech, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, he's gonna like do the thing and become the leader, and then he's just like,
no, let's kill them all. Kill them all.
There's hundreds of thousands of children on that station.
Fuck it. Pick another station as well. Let's fucking drop the list.
To destroy the fucking belt and create more fucking extreme terrorists.
Literally do exactly what Avasarala is saying.
Yeah,
right?
then in 30 years' time there'll be fucking 10 Marcos.
So Avasarala is right.
Yeah.
Again, she's always right, because she's my girl. Right? Avasarala, I fucking love her.
Oh yeah.
She's a great character.
Yeah, and that emotional breakdown is good too, because they're like, you know, all acting on instinct, and she's like, my fucking husband died. Like, you think I don't want to destroy this?
But then they're like, oh well, you know, we can't act on emotion. But that's literally what you're doing. Her speech was telling you.
I have these emotions,
but
I'm pushing them aside, and I'm acting out of rationality.
I found that was it was full of hypocrisy. Trying to you know, put her down based on that.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not acting on these fucking initial emotions.
It was almost like a sort of like a misogynistic vibe as well.
Yeah.
Like you're a woman and you've got all these emotions and you're getting all emotional, so therefore what you're saying is emotional.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's not what she's saying. You're not listening
she's
to
saying
her.
she has the emotions, but she's not acting on them.
You're not listening.
And we shouldn't kill kids.
How would you not see that and that's ultimately she was correct in doing that, right? No one's going to go forward with that except the military people who are military people. I'm going to do military things. Because they're military people.
Yeah, they blow shit up.
It's the same fucking thing. Yeah. Like you see what happened with what's-his-face, the fleet commander back in season 2. It's like, I don't consent to this. This is insane. Oh, well, goodbye.
Well, if only tool is a hammer, then the only thing you can do is fucking nail in fucking nails. And a bunch of the cabinet members walk out and there's a vote of no confidence, and she's back in power. Yes.
My girl.
If only she hadn't lost that election, maybe we could have avoided Earth being fucking wrecked.
Well, she learned a lesson though, didn't she? Huh?
Yeah.
She's obviously grown as a character now.
Yeah.
She knows. She was consumed. She was consumed by fear. We already talked about that. She was consumed by fear about the unknown and like what had happened previously and the existential threats to humanity. But then also like insulated in her own little political bubble.
Yeah, she's like, one of the bourgeois politicians. Yeah, she has grown and learned all this shit. Been out there in space, seeing all this crazy shit on the Rossi.
And ultimately she wants to just do the right thing. And we know that of her, and I have full confidence that she'll do her best for the situation, right? She should have been put in the first place.
Yeah. But that's politics. You don't always vote in the fucking best person for the job.
But now we're going to see the fallout of like their murder. The Earth is murdering like hundreds of thousands of innocent people, presumably.
Yeah, they already bombed one of the fucking stations, and you're just rallying the Belters to their fucking Marco's cause now.
You know, so it's fucking silly, huh?
Yeah.
But I get it. Of course, it's too easy to end up in a tit for tat. That's the problem, right?
I mean, that shit happened like after 9/11, right? They went.
Woof.
Bombing fucking Iraq and doing all this crazy shit.
But they did all that. Oh well, I'm not gonna.
It was for oil.
Yeah, no.
9/11 was an inside job.
Fucking hell. He does not represent my opinions on the matter. So the natural reaction is to like strike back.
Yeah, someone punches you in the face.
And it's like, well, no. And then all the other cabinet members were right. I thought we were better than this. Are you fucking joking? We're standing here. We've just struck this place and we're basically going to rattle off a bunch of targets that we're going to destroy with our superior forces.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Right.
they were saying Marco just did it to us, and she's like, is he our role model now?
Yeah.
We're trying to not be like him, right?
Yeah.
Rather than just all become him.
I should have told you about Palace when I made my decision.
If we continue to attack civilian targets,
The way Inaros did to us.
is he our role model now?
Yeah, well, she was quick with the smackdown, like the logical smackdowns,
Yeah.
right? Because she's fucking quick-witted and she's fucking...
She's already thought all of this shit
Yeah,
out.
she
10
knows.
times
Yeah,
more than all of that.
She knows, you know. So I'm glad she's back because holy shit, talk about trying your best to escalate the situation, trying your best to play into Marco's hands as much as possible, and she knew that. She knew that that's what that was. He wanted them to fucking do what he was doing,
Yeah.
and strike at them, right,
yeah,
to
exactly.
unify the belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Duh. He's a terror. He's still at this point a terrorist.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
He's not, you know, he may have a fleet, but he's not there yet, right?
Yeah.
They're not, I don't
Yeah,
think...
the belt isn't consolidated. It's not all one, like, government.
Yeah, how many factions do they reckon there are? Like 2,000 factions or something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
some stupid amount.
Yeah,
you know?
he's just some renegade who's like rallied half of them and done this fucking crazy terrorist act. But yeah, he's not the fucking prime minister of the belt.
And we know and we know what his tactics are for rallying. Well, they obviously don't know, but we know what his tactics are. And we know that, you know, people like Drummer are not going to be the only people that say, this is fucking bullshit, but I'm going to go along with it as long as I have to not die.
Yeah,
Right, like
yeah.
that's, you know, if he says to them, well, no, you can say no, right? It's like, yeah, and die. Right?
Yeah.
It's
I'll
not...
just fucking kill you.
Yeah.
You can leave, and then I'll kill you later on.
Yeah, right? So it's like, we know that, you know, all these... Bloody birds. We know...
Shut up!
we know that you know, all these strong-willed belters, right? Think about it, you know, all these really like tribalistic strong-willed belters,
Yeah.
you know, who don't like being told what to do,
Yeah.
are being told what to do by this guy.
I mean,
you know?
yeah, those kind of regimes always fall apart when that dictator leaves. Like, he'd never be able to give it off to Philip.
Oh no,
Philip
yeah,
behind
it would fall apart. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, and it's gonna fall apart before then.
try and set up a
presumably.
monarchy or whatever, because that is what it'd be like, right?
Yeah,
like
as soon as the
bloodline
dictator
monarchy.
leaves, it's just like
Yeah,
it's a power vacuum
yeah.
and all changes. So yeah, in conclusion, we got like a nice action-packed, satisfied conclusion to Amos, Peaches, and Eric. They're now on Luna. Avasarala's back in power. Nothing's been wrapped up with the Holden, Monica,
No.
Bull, Alex, Bobby, Naomi, Philip, Marco narrative, but that's going to be next episode, presumably a big firefight. It's funny, they normally like wrap everything up in episode 9, and episode 10's kind of a little like introduction to the next season.
Well, how many? 10's the last one, right?
Yeah, so there's one more hour, and presumably that's going to be like a big shit fight where stuff will be resolved.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe. Well, they're continuing, the whole Marco thing has to be resolved in like a whole season, right? So...
Well, that's the formula they've followed up until this point. It's like, you know, season 4 is Illis, season 3 is The Ring, and...
Yeah, I'd say they're actually not that far off from being able to wrap it up.
Well, an hour
honestly.
is half a movie. That's
No,
a long time.
but I meant like the entire thing over like an entire season, another season, right? So
Yeah.
that we've got all our pieces in play, right? And yeah, we're still focused on small instances, but all the small conflicts are being resolved,
Yeah.
right? So the political vacuum, small focus of Earth and stuff is being resolved now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like who's going to take charge and what actions do we take next and blah blah blah. So that's clear line from that.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
done.
the Rossi's has been out of play because they've been focused on doing this thing. Same with Drummer and Alex and Bobby and Amos. Right?
Yeah,
they've been doing their own little thing.
Yeah, well, this episode was like, wrapping up Amos and Peaches.
So-
So now that's done.
So the scale in the next one should be about all the major pieces on the board, right?
Yeah. Something tragic and violent and fucked up.
I'm sure
happening.
we'll lose a character. I almost hope that we lose a character.
Yeah, you
right?
need to have the stakes at that point. We get at the end of this episode too, Naomi is able to activate the helmet and can see the Alex and Bobby coming.
Yeah, it's a slow burn of Naomi slowly regaining control of the ship.
And then she walks off and she starts banging shit.
Yeah.
She looks at the water on her thing.
I think. Well, so it depends on. So the explosives are on a proximity, right? Is it a proximity to the ship?
I don't know whether it was
Or is it
proximity
an attempt to open the ship?
I think maybe it's an attempt to open. And even like she got in through the airlock, so if the bombs were active then like you can still get in through the airlock. It's just the main like
Because otherwise that's what she's doing, right? She's signaling to whoever tries to enter the ship, don't fucking enter the ship. Yeah. So
yeah, so at the end, I don't know if she's like, sabotaging the ship, or she's just gonna activate the bombs and blow herself up, or... But we will see! Have you seen WandaVision?
no, I haven't. Is it good?
It's interesting, it's different. It's like, you've seen the ads for it, how it's like...
Oh, I basically gave me zero indicator. They're trapped in some fucking thing, right? They're trapped somewhere doing something, right? By somebody, maybe one of the big comic book antagonists or something.
Yeah,
right?
it's Scarlet Witch, the main chick, because in the comics she's like hectically powerful and like manipulates the world and stuff.
Is it her subconsciously trapping them somewhere?
Yeah, I think so. Well, fucking Vision died, and she creates this like happy like...
So mental break.
Yeah. But then the show pretty much 90% just plays out as like a 1950s Bewitched fucking thing, and they just like keep it going like that.
Okay.
So people are like, I don't know what's happening. But it's only just started, like it's like done the first act.
Okay.
But I enjoyed watching like a 1950s...
Yeah. Well, it's like a suburban drama, right?
Yeah, and it's got the canned laughter and the jokes are terrible, and like it's just making like an episode of Bewitched, and then people are like, what is this?
Well, no, you're operating on the presumption that I've watched Bewitched.
You never watched Bewitched?
No.
And there's like a jump cut where you can obviously see
Is that where she wriggles her nose or something and appears the
she's
genie, right?
Yeah, same fucking...
Well, is that or...
No, I Dream of Genie was...
I Dream of Genie.
I Dream of Genie was, like a Navy captain, and he had a genie in a bottle.
Yeah, right.
He like had to pretend that she was his wife, but then she was magic.
Yeah, so what's Bewitched then?
Bewitched is a guy and his wife is a witch, and she has to like pretend that she's a normal person, but she's a witch.
So it's Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but in the 50s.
Yeah. It's like,
And Wanda has to go to high school and deal with, she really likes a boy.
Yeah, it's a sitcom, like,
Yeah.
What fucking Big Bang Theory would have been fucking 50
So presumably it's going to get really weird, right? So
Yeah.
they set up the first season and they do something that's really unorthodox now.
Yeah. I like the way they're just feeding into what's happening though. They're not giving you all the answers. It's just like, no,
of course, yeah.
You're watching an episode of Bewitched, and people are like, what is going on?
Well, so what's the general consensus?
I think it's like 50-50. Like, I don't know. I'm just enjoying...
People are not happy that they're not getting...
I'm not saying the Marvel fans are low intellectual degenerates, but after Avengers Endgame,
the Marvel fans are low intellect degenerates.
They don't want something different. They want fucking Thor Ragnarok spoon-fed into their mouth.
Thor Ragnarok was fucking really
It was
different. It was really different. I don't know. What do you want from me?
$5.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't... If the payoff's good, I'd be interested in watching it. But if it's just if it goes into sort of like Marvel-y schlock, at the end
which I think it might. I've enjoyed the first act, but
that's not going to do anything for me.
It's like, it's the first, 30 minutes of a movie.
Yeah.
You need to, after that point, have a nice arc with a fulfilling conclusion.
Because like that's a novelty. What you're saying, right? That kind of, for me, that's a novelty, but I'm not, I've got a bunch of shit I want to watch. That doesn't, unless it has like a really interesting twist to it.
Yeah, which I'm not sure it will.
Then
we'll see.
It's like the tropes would be is that she's trapped in this thing. This would be the movie format, right? The first 30 minutes she's trapped in this thing, and he's just kind of like slightly confused, but then playing through the scenario. Essentially, right?
Yeah.
And then she'd start to like lash out at the people in the scenario.
Yeah.
Right? You're not real. You're not real.
Yeah.
This is fucking bullshit. What's going on?
It's the opposite. It's she's creating this and then she's holding everyone hostage.
Yeah.
So she's creating this.
So have you got all the other Marvel characters, the Marvel.
Vision is there, and then it's just like a few other people that are like, basically being held by her. There's moments where like the facade starts to break,
Right.
and she'll like rewind it back and replay and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's the villain at this point in time.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Bewitch. But which?
Which is which?
Well, what do they say about the thing at the Parthenon where the Acropolis is? I don't know if anyone will get that joke. Do you get
I
that joke?
don't get that joke.
I'll show you. Anyway, from QI, which Marvel cast are being held hostage is what I'm asking. Right?
At this point in time, it's just her and her husband Vision. And
So,
then they've
okay.
introduced a bunch of new characters.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not paying, like Robert Downey Jr. at this point. Well, he's dead. But, there's no one else at this point.
Right, well, so Vision's dead too.
Vision is dead too. But
Yeah,
he's
so-
part of this facade.
Well, so are these people set up to be like superheroes going forward?
I think so, yeah. They're doing a new thing now. They're moving on to television.
Yeah, well,
starting a new
they're
phase.
bringing a bunch of, they're
Endgame.
creating a bunch of new bringing to life a bunch of different superheroes.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so it will be that. She's well. So, are we getting the perspective of these other characters?
Yeah, they're like, because they're on like a set and stuff, and you see like painted backgrounds, and they're
Right.
starting to be like, we're trapped in a fucking television
So they're
show.
trying to get through to her.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That
And
actually-
she's like, fuck this. Because in the comics, like, she is one of the most powerful creatures. There's a moment in House of M, which is an iconic series, where most of the time it's because of her children. She creates this false facade of her children, and then she realizes that they've died or they never existed. And she gets this moment where she just like clicks her fingers and all the mutants disappear, and she completely alters the reality.
Yeah, well, she was able to go toe to toe with Thanos with 3 stones or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or 5 stones.
So I hope they're building up to a big bag. In any case, I mean, the first act was good. I don't know if the second or third act will be good.
Well, I mean, what you explained just before sounds more interesting, right?
Yeah.
We're getting the sort of perspective of these new future
Yeah,
characters.
held hostage.
So it's being unwrapped in reverse, right?
Yeah,
'Cause you
yeah.
start with Wanda,
Yeah.
and not Wanda. Fucking, you start with bloody
Yeah, name's Wanda.
Oh, it is one. Okay.
Wanda Maximoff / her name is.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you start with Wanda, and then, that's interesting. Okay, well, so I mean, we always knew that they were kind of doing something interesting, I guess.
Hopefully.
Did you see the bloody Chris Pratt's coming to Thor: Love and Thunder?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's gonna have the cast of fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. So they're continuing with the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, was it Chris Pratt? It's either Chris Pratt or it's God, what's the robot one's name? The sister of Gamora.
Oh, yeah, the chick from Doctor Who. Nebula?
Yeah, Nebula. Yeah.
Nebula?
She's definitely back, which is
Yeah.
gonna be. I'll be interested.
Well, they were the best parts. Guardians of the
no,
Galaxy, and then when they made the good Thor.
Yeah.
That's what we want. High sci-fi that's silly and funny
Nebula and Thor romping around the galaxy. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That sounds fucking great to me. And then Guardians 4, I guess now is going to be Rocket. That's going to be the
true.
main premise of the. Apparently, is going to be Rocket, and they've got what's his face back on now after the whole.
Yeah, I have to fire him for the pedophile tweets.
Which is going to be interesting. So yeah, no,
They have potential to make. I mean, it's hit and miss. Like some of it's engaging, some of it's generic.
well, it's the second phase or the third phase,
There's
or
like the
whichever
fourth
phase.
now.
Whichever phase it is. This is the phase now where things can start to get interesting.
Weird. You set it up. You set up all like Captain America, and then start doing weird, different, obscure, alternative shit.
You couldn't go back. Right, and have it be as like enthralling, not for us.
Yeah.
Right? Not for us. Maybe Marvel fans will be like, oh yeah, that's fine. They're back in New York City again or whatever with the Hawk or whatever his name is. Yeah, and he's doing like bullshit like Spider-Man crap.
Yeah,
Right? Like just doing something really generic and dumb in some city.
It's the Doctor Who thing again. We don't want to see him fighting Daleks in modern day London. We want to see something weird and different. Something we haven't seen before. Give us something you haven't seen before.
After like bleeding through the rest of the galaxy onto Earth,
Yeah,
like literally bleeding in multiple dimensions and the galaxy
Doctor
and
Strange,
you know, all this
magic,
crazy
space
shit.
travel.
Right after letting that all bleed through and become like, hey, actually, we're not just a ball in a space of nothingness.
Yeah.
Right, after doing all that, you couldn't go back. Oh, I wouldn't. I would just totally divorce myself from being interested in it.
Yeah.
You know, like I have no interest in that. It's like,
it seems like they're moving in the right direction. The new Doctor Strange is supposed to be like a horror.
yeah, but then they had they sort of had a disagreement with the original guy that was on board.
Oh,
with
really?
It.
It was Sam Raimi originally.
Yeah. Well, so they got
the
he's
Evil
fucking
Dead.
he's gone,
Really?
right?
That's-
Yeah, well, because he had you know, they had the spiel. Oh, yeah, we had creative differences, but really it was, from what I understand, oh well, he was going too extreme, and they didn't, and they wanted to pull back.
Yeah,
and it's
it's
like
the Disney thing. We're gonna do all these different things and hire all these weird directors. Oh no, we don't want that.
Yeah,
You're fired.
no, sorry. Actually,
want
we
generic
changed our
Star
mind.
Wars
Yeah. And it's like, you know, because the Doctor Strange, they only had one Doctor Strange movie, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just an origin story.
It was boring. I didn't have any.
He's a
interest in
normal
it.
guy. Now he's a wizard. He fights a battle. I was like, I've seen the origin story. How many times have we seen the superhero origin story now?
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, here's Earth with some sprinklings of crazy stuff, and then that's it, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
We want the craziness.
So, you know, you can't do that and then, draw back, right?
Yeah. They're on a trajectory and they need to lean into where this is heading.
And it's not like, and that's basically a process of escalation, but which could normally be the death throes for a series of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. It's like if the threshold after, say, the first Avengers movie was, the only way we can go now is having bigger and larger battles, which they kind of did that.
But they paced it really well. So over like a decade, it's slow.
And so by the time you got to Endgame and they had those big silly battles or whatever, right? It's like, okay, well, yeah, right. This is the plateau for this. But we're not, in terms of story escalation, right, they're not locked into, that's the only way they can escalate, and so therefore they either escalate and it gets boring or they draw back.
Yeah.
You don't have to do
boring.
that. You can escalate like the actual scope of the story.
Yeah. Diversify all the fucking different types of narratives. Start telling different genres within this world and whatnot.
That's what they've got. That's what they've got now.
Yeah.
Is they can do that. They have the potential to do. They can have a movie with the same, the same size set pieces and battle set pieces and tension and stuff, right? Without it being something that everybody's already acclimatized to and therefore won't make sales.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because that's like Hollywood's major flaw.
Yeah.
Is if they don't have the right material to work with, the only way they can escalate is by escalating things like the set pieces and stuff, right? Because they don't know how to write creatively. But when you've got the material...
Yeah, you set all the groundwork. You put all the time and effort into the mundane setting up of Iron Man, and he's got a suit, and then the galactic stuff, and then the magic stuff. And now it's time to fucking go out there and roll the dice and take a risk.
It's like actually no, I don't know. I lost my train. There was some other thing, right? There was some other major.
Well, there's lots of cases of people just blowing the load way too soon, like the Matrix, Neo flying at the end in the DC universe. Like their third movie was like what should have been their 10th movie, rushing into it.
It's a trope that comes in different flavors.
Yeah,
right? And it's a story trope, and it's depending on D&D, right? And, what's his face? The two directors of Game of Thrones, right? It was the same sort of thing, right? The escalation doesn't come from being able to expand the universe, which they could have done maybe, but they were pretty locked in, right? You've got a premise, and that's it. There is no further. You know, you can't. It's like it was like I was talking about Lord of the Rings, right? So they're doing the Amazon. Is doing the new series with Lord of the Rings, and when I first heard about it, the first thing I thought was, what are they going to talk about? Like, there's not in the third
age is the destruction of the ring.
Right.
And then the fourth age starts.
Yeah, in the fourth age, right?
Yeah.
There is nothing.
And Tolkien wrote nothing about the Fourth
And
Age.
even if you were to do it in the Third Age but somewhere else, there is nothing. There was one thing happening, and it was the ring. That was the thing that was happening. Everybody's there, right? The Easterlings, the dragons, everybody was there. Right? That was what was happening, and all I could think of, it's like the games that they made, and they're like I guess the expanded universe. I don't know what
the
age.
video games and
Shadow of Mordor and stuff. That's fine. I guess they're okay games, but from a story perspective, it's like there's nothing else happening. So I thought it's going to be really boring, or they're going to try and invent a bunch of crap.
And it's going to be terrible.
And it's going to be terrible, right? Because they're trying to expand on it, and it won't have the flavour. But no, apparently they're doing the Second Age, I guess.
Like the fall of Numenor and the elves come into Middle Earth.
Which that's interesting, because there was a lot more going on back then.
Like the world was being built, the cosmology and the mythology and everything was being built.
All the dwarves were at like the height of their power or whatever, and they had all their major settlements, and the elves were not just located, were not becoming isolationists and fleeing the land, so they were at the height of their power. So were the Numenors, right? So that's
they become like corrupt, and they were kind of like Atlantis. They were on an island off of Middle Earth, and they become corrupt and started focusing on like machinery, then that all destroyed, and the survivors came to Middle Earth. They become man,
and all the struggles of humanity, like Gondor and all that sort of stuff.
So they have
where were you where the Westfold fell? Well, actually, you know what? I see that meme float around, right? It's like a meme. It's like, where were you when the Westfold fell? But apparently the Gondorians were actually like having their own issues. It wasn't that they were just involved. It wasn't that they were just like, nah, fuck you, they were actually like defending their own borders or whatever from massive orc attack, so they weren't just major pieces of shit, which seems to be the consensus. Right?
They have a good like groundwork to write something good in there. Whether they will or won't, we'll just have to wait and see. There's a whole bunch of speculation at the moment. I'm like just wait and see. People are always like, it's gonna be an SJW showfest, it's gonna be garbage.
That's fucking crap. I get it, right?
Maybe it will.
I used to be like that. I kind of am like that to some degree, but I also, like we just talked about with the Expanse, right? Female characters. And when they do it right, you don't notice, you don't care, you don't think about it.
It's the execution, right?
I remember there's like, I remember I used to subscribe to a bunch of channels that used to talk about it. And one day, I can't remember what it was about. It was about a show or a movie, and it was really good, right? And they were talking about like they were trying to assert that this female character was, a strong female character, right, for the sake of being that, and it was poorly written, and I was like, no, it's not. No, the character's actually really great.
You're brought into the politics now, and
you're trying to force it.
You're not objectively analysing a narrative, you're focusing on the politics. So that's what you're interested in, politics, not storytelling. It's
like, no, it was The Boys. Where they had the satire of the women power.
Well, that was deliberate, and
But they also are strong female characters. That's the flip side.
But they were making fun of the trope. They were self-aware.
But they were making fun of the trope by actually doing it properly as well on the thing, right? So they'd be aware of the trope. So you've got what's her face, the blonde Starfire. Right, she's a great character.
Actually has a character.
Great character, strong but has flaws, and is like a person and has anxiety and existential dread and blah 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 da da da. And you have like the Nazi chick, and she's like a psychopath, right? But in a believable way. She's like an over-top psychopath, but in a really subtle way, right? And doesn't play a hand and manipulates, what's his face and all that sort of stuff. That's what it was about, right? It's like,
it's complex and
you just need to analyze it. It's a story. It's a writing thing. That's what it is.
They were just like, it's politically correct, SJW, showfest, schlock.
It's easy to get angry when you see. It's easy to get angry when you see something like the Ghostbusters. It's easy to get angry at it, and it's easy to go. I love the first Ghostbusters movie. I agree with Red Letter Media when Mike says that movie's literally perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's an amazing comedy.
It's amazing.
It's one of the best comedy movies
Ever.
ever. Yeah.
Right? It's perfect.
And
it's
then
timeless.
people directly go, this needs to be all female.
Yeah.
And then all the publicity and all
the media
and
and then it flops and then they have
and then
like
it's not a good movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a different story if it comes out and it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But then it comes out and it's not funny.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to write comedy and it's fucking shit.
It's shit. Like it's a giant turd.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, the criticisms are valid. I get that. You can attack the political angle.
Yeah,
I get that, right? And I agree. And I think that it's valid that I jump on the criticism if it's if it's blatant and it's one of the driving forces that led to the piece of media being shit.
Yeah.
Right? Had that element not been there, there's a higher likelihood that it wouldn't have been a giant steaming turd.
Yeah, that's fair. It is an element within the mix. I'm not going to buy into anything until I sit down and watch the first episode.
Well, they have all the, like, analysing the trailer, and they have, like, a big red, like, circle. And, what does this mean?
And then the actual thing comes out and they're completely fucking wrong.
completely
Don't
wrong.
know what the fuck they're
Yeah,
talking
what are
about.
you
Making shit up for clicks.
It's like, no, we'll fucking see, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll sit down and we'll fucking talk about it when it comes out.
And, like, conversely, you've got, like, the Lord of the Rings purists, where we go, you can't touch, the material, and you can't invent new material. And I was like, man, that's fucking bullshit too.
Yeah.
You're full of shit as well. You're all fucking full of shit.
I remember like a George R. Martin thing, and they asked him, what do you think about the changes they made to your books? He's like, they haven't made any changes to my books. My books are on the shelf there. They still exist. They didn't edit them. They didn't re-release them. It's like, yeah, making the show isn't gonna delete the Silmarillion from all fucking existence. It's not gonna get rid of Tolkien. You still have Tolkien. You can still like Tolkien's fucking literature.
Yeah.
This is something else. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, that's fine. Forget about it.
And if you're a fan of like the world building that was done, if it's faithful to the style of the world building, even if there are people complaining, oh well, they're gonna have like Game of Thrones style sex scenes and stuff. So fucking what? That's just catering to a modern audience.
Yeah, and I mean the movies did that. Like when you read the fucking books, it's like old English like poetry and fairy tales, and they're stopping and they're singing and they're telling stories. The movies were like fucking shake cam action and violence.
Well, the Wraiths, right? Where they didn't have like the metal gloves and they were like totally different, and
And like that, they got out of the Shire and they sat down and they told a story and they sung a song. Like it wasn't hectic and it was. But then, like, they'd sit down and they'd tell
it was
a poem.
hectic for the time.
Yeah,
right?
and Jackson went, that's not really how you tell this movie. This movie.
Wait, I remember.
I'm not rewriting the book. I'm making a movie.
I remember talking to my dad. I think we talked about this already, but I remember talking to him about the Old Forest. Right? So that's fine. That's a great thing, and you've got bloody Tom Bombadil and the Barrows, and he's singing and Old Man Willow, and it's all whimsical and all that sort of stuff. Okay, right. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got. Let's just assume everything else is the same in the movies, right?
Yeah.
But you've got, which first off, Frodo spends like 30 years in Bag End or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and bloody and all the other
and
different
he's like a
shires.
50-year-old man.
Yeah. Yeah, so he everything happens and they're on their way, and he's on his way with Sam, and they're going and they meet Merry and Pippin or whatever, right? And then and once they cross over from the border of bloody Maggot's farm or whatever into the Old Forest, then everything, all the pace and tension go right, and now we totally reset. Now we're talking about something completely different, right? Now it's a totally different story.
The tone shifts. We're not worried about the ring.
Yeah, that's
we're not worried
happening
about the
anymore.
ranks.
That's over there somewhere.
We're not worried about our lives. We're not worried about destroying this.
We're not thinking about the going to the Elven City or whatever. We're not thinking about this. We're not thinking about Gandalf.
We're spending 40 minutes dancing and singing
easily
with Tom Bombadil
and the River Lady or whatever, his girlfriend, and all that.
Talking to trees and shit, and it's like, that's still in the book. It still exists.
Yeah,
and Jackson said like they might have gone there in the movie. I just didn't fucking show it.
It just didn't matter.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. Oh my god, I love the Lord of the Rings movies, right? And it's just totally different. In so many ways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, if you're making a movie, you need to make an effective movie. If the movie doesn't work as a movie, the audience isn't going to get engaged.
It won't make any money, and then that'll be the end of it.
It's a different medium, completely and utterly. You can sit there and read, like, a fucking 10,000 page book. and go through all that stuff. But with a movie, like, you know, you got 3 hours, you got an arc, beginning, middle, and end.
You got to draw people
set
in.
up conflict resolution, yeah, and he's still a through line.
You know, and then so to bring it back to the sex thing, right? Like the sex scenes or whatever, you've also got to play to some degree to modern standards. Like people.
It needs to compete with television.
People are a lot more bloody barbaric nowadays, like
Yeah.
their sensibilities and our expectations than they were back in the day, right? We're
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
more hedonistic
Yeah,
these
yeah.
days, right? And everybody likes a good like sex scene or whatever, right?
Well, we're not watching Bewitched anymore.
No, yeah, we're not watching Bewitched now. Oh, she showed her ankle. That's scandalous, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we're not doing that anymore, and then, you know, that's fine. You can use that effectively to you know,
Yeah,
show
and still
characters.
be faithful to Tolkien.
Yeah, you know, even if,
Maybe.
you know, and like I like.
We'll see. They could do it in a way where it works, and they could do it in a way
If
where
you don't
it
like
fucking
it, don't
doesn't
fucking
work.
watch it. You're
Yeah.
allowed to criticize it. I'm not saying don't criticize it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right? But don't then like watch them and then continue to criticize them.
Yeah.
Right? As like have a channel that goes and watches it.
Yeah.
And all they do is criticize every single episode about like not being faithful to Tolkien. It's like a Tolkien. It's like you know that it's not faithful to
But
Tolkien.
yeah, some people thrive on that stuff. That's
Yeah.
what they want. They want the fucking anger and the.
If it's a steaming turd.
Yeah, that's fun. That's
I
always
gotcha.
fun.
I might even watch your videos.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll complain about
Yeah,
it. I'll
yeah.
bitch. We'll probably have an episode
Yeah,
where we just bitch
if it's
about
terrible, then yeah, we'll rip it apart.
it. And that will be one of the criticisms.
But
Like,
then yeah, don't go through fucking 10 episodes of it.
5 seasons of it. It's like, oh man, this is.
This is still bad.
This would never happen in Tolkien's world. This would never happen in Rara. It's like, man, yeah, I know.
The guy wrote it in like the fucking 50s. He was like a fucking Anglo-Saxon professor at Oxford. Like, yeah, he wouldn't write a sex scene.
And then fucking, you know, bloody Glorfindel fucking.
He's choking her out and he put his pipe out
Donkey
on her.
punch or whatever.
Punching her.
You know, or fucking so you know maybe they'll have swearing in it or something. It's like, man, a dwarf would never say fuck. You know, and it's like, man, okay, but I want to watch them say.
Yeah. Game of Thrones changed the fucking landscape.
That changed the sensibilities.
Yeah, it's like,
that
alright.
totally changed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and it made people realize what they want to see from an adult drama.
Yeah, you can say cunt, you can show sex scenes, you can show gruesome violence.
You know,
yeah.
And it was scandalous for the time that it came out. Even that was scandalous, right? But then everything follows the trend because people. Because people are like that in real life, though. Right?
Yeah,
people swear and people have sex, right?
No, Steve.
You know, right? So it becomes kind of more relatable.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
guess it's interesting when you think about it. The sort of cultural influence on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my battery is about to run out. So thank you and good night.
Not good night. Good day. It's daytime.
They're watching it at night.
Nobody's watching it.